We're at the Grange Hall exit on 75, and this is over the sky right now. What the hell is this? They were flickering lights, and there's a bunch of people pulled over on 75. What the fuck? They're changing colors? Yeah, but what is it?
I haven't seen anything like this yet. Unbelievable. I mean, I've seen the sardine run and that many times, but this is quite a spectacle. Unbloody believable. Yeah, I'm videoing it. Right here on our stoop.
Wow, hello. Yes. And it's landing on hot soil. Yes. Eh? Whereby
infestation that just keeps spreading and is difficult to contain. Billions of desert locusts, some in swarms the size of Moscow, have swept through most of East Africa. From Sudan to Tanzania, the grasshoppers keep multiplying. Their search for fresh vegetation is springing up with seasonal rains. In Ethiopia, they've damaged more than 2,000 square kilometers of farmland. They devour plants, but farmers in Kenya say the insects are also a menace to animals.
They're eating our grass and even getting into our homes. When the animals eat the grass where the locusts have defecated, they become ill and some even die. When we slaughter our livestock, we find locust heads in their stomachs.
The battle to combat the locusts is happening at the same time governments are trying to limit the spread of COVID-19. UN officials say curfews and restrictions on movement have made their work harder.
For example, when you want to load an aeroplane early in the morning, there is also the restrictions of timing and also locating the swamps because of the curfew. However, we are trying to come up with innovative ways, like reducing the number of populations that are being met at once for the training, as well as also engaging the security officers so that they can allow a small extension of time for the locals, the scout.
Authorities say the pandemic, coupled with the infestation, could have serious consequences for the region. The UN is now asking for $153 million in aid before more rains worsen the effects of one of these plagues. Philip Owera, TRT World.
Look at everybody outside. Everybody is outside. Look at the Chinese police. They won't allow us to rest. They chased us away from our house. We don't have anywhere to live. They are pursuing us. Why?
This passport belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. In line with international practice, no any country have the right to seize the international passport of another country. Why are they seizing Nigerian passport? It not belong to the China.
They collected all our passports. Look at them. They collected all our passports.
We don't know where they are taking us to. We have been in quarantine for 14 days now. We don't know where they are taking us to.
They cannot give us house. They cannot give us hotel. They cannot provide a place we can stay.
They are not a criminal. They are not anything. Why are you harassing them?
It's a friendly scene, but also a misleading one. A few hours later, when they leave the club, there's a confrontation. A group of Chinese men have surrounded a man from Nigeria. A fight breaks out.
Let's get out of here.
The Chinese chase after the man wielding iron bars. The police arrive before things get more serious. What just happened doesn't surprise Frederick.
Confrontations between the Nigerian community and the Chinese community happen a lot. It always ends in a bloodbath.
Almost immediately, the police break up the street fight.
Come on, let's get out of here.
They focus their attentions on the African who dared to fight the Chinese. Quickly, however, the street is filled with Nigerians, along with men from Senegal and the Congo.
Hey, what are you doing to our friend? What's he doing? Tell us.
There are only 3 policemen against a crowd of angry Africans, and they eventually give ground. A surprising thing to happen in China.
No, I'm not going in the car. The Chinese people who fought me should be coming as well. They're regrouping over there and returning in force.
In one go, they'll grab the guy and disappear.
The police are quickly overpowered and everyone manages to escape, including the man they wanted to arrest.
C'est seulement en Guinée, ça te plaît. Même des Chinois prisonniers, on nous envoie pour venir s'occuper des Guinéens. Ça ne peut plus continuer. Ou ils respectent les lois du pays, ou ils foutent le camp. On n'a pas besoin d'investisseurs qui viennent ici pour insulter les gens. On va le dire au préfet. Ils veulent montrer la force. Ils veulent montrer qu'ils sont forts. S'ils ne trouvent pas la solution, autorité Ramino Ntagui pour 5 minutes. Voilà. On comprend qui est capable de faire. Nous allons aller les écouter.
Meantime, protests against virus-related lockdowns are on the rise across the U.S. as millions of Americans are losing jobs and face poverty due to restrictive policies. One America's Christian Rose has this report.
We have a personal responsibility for our health, and we don't need them to tell us how to do it.
A rising number of Americans are suspecting foul play behind coronavirus lockdowns imposed by state governments across the nation. This past weekend, protesters rallied in front of the Texas state legislature in Austin, demanding that the state's economy reopen immediately, allowing millions of Texans to get back to work. Protesters say economic lockdowns pose a greater threat to their livelihoods than the virus itself.
I think the government has overstepped. We have rights, and I think it's just a shame that we can't make those choices for ourselves.
And Texans are not alone in their defiance of the crushing power of the state. This past weekend, protesters rallied in Las Vegas, Nevada, took to the streets of Brookfield, Wisconsin, and brought traffic to standstill in central Annapolis, Maryland. Similar demonstrations took place in many other cities as well, and the majority of protesters are expressing strong Republican sentiments. They call on President Trump to end lockdowns on the federal level and pressure Democrat governors and mayors to follow suit. Protesters also say they don't trust health officials and Democrat leaders, arguing that government bureaucrats are interested in keeping America shut down indefinitely.
The numbers are false. You have, a 1% chance of dying. You have a larger percentage of dying of something else, but that's life. We can't continue to live in fear.
But health officials claim reopening the country can only proceed gradually, with numerous conditions attached.
If these things are done correctly, what I believe they can, we will have and there will be enough tests to allow us to take this country safely through phase one.
Arguably because some Democrat governors are not convinced the virus outbreak is letting up.
So it's no time to get cocky and it's no time to get arrogant, right? We still have a long way to go and a lot of work to do.
In this light, some Democrat-controlled areas extended lockdowns well into the month of May, including in Los Angeles and New York. But protesters say if such policies remain in place, the U.S. economy will never recover from this crisis.
Governor Sisolak is responsible for the shutdown of the economy in Nevada. Period. We're a tourism-based economy, and he effectively shut it down, putting at least 1 out of 10 Nevadans out of work. It's unacceptable.
President Trump has signaled he supports the protesters all the way amid ongoing Democrat efforts to use coronavirus to bring down his administration. It remains to be seen if Democrats come to their senses in the face of widening popular unrest.
These are people expressing their views. I see where they are and I see the way they're working. They seem to be very responsible people to me.
Christian Rose, One American News.
कुछ मिल रहा तो है नहीं गवर्नमेंट बोली पैसे मिलेंगे बाटला आएगा ये आएगा वो आएगा मगर ऐसा कुछ पॉसिबल नहीं हुआ है अब हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं उनको खाने को नहीं मिल रहा ना कुछ मिल रहा तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं
उनका लॉकडाउन एक्सटेंड होने की वजह से मन में एक असंतोष था और उन्हें घर वापस जाने की एक आतुरता थी। उन्होंने ये डिमांड प्रशासन के सामने रखी। स्थानिक पुलिस स्टेशन के अधिकारी कर्मचारी स्थानिक डीसीपी एडिशनल सीपी वहाँ जाके उन्होंने उन्हें कन्विंस करने की कोशिश की, उनके साथ चर्चा की। इस चर्चा के दरम्यान क्राउड का कुछ भाग अग्रेसिव हो गया, जिसे कंट्रोल में लाने के लिए सौम्य बल का प्रयोग करना पड़ा और उस भीड़ को, उस गर्दी को वहाँ से डिस्पर्स कर दिया गया।
left out on sidewalks. Cardboard boxes used as coffins for coronavirus victims. These pictures are a glimpse into the devastating impact of coronavirus in Ecuador. These videos circulating on social media show the fear of residents towards the bodies abandoned on the streets.
Y la sangre, Dios mío lindo. Mire, Dios mío lindo, cómo lo... ¡Oiga, llévesen eso!
Ecuador is the hardest hit country by COVID-19 in Latin America after Brazil. It has recorded over 7,500 cases of the coronavirus. The majority of infections are in the coastal province of Guayas and its capital, Guayaquil. The police department has counted 1,878 fatalities. But why is Ecuador struggling to bury its dead? Ecuador has had a problem with its health system long before the coronavirus pandemic hit the country. This report on health infrastructure in Ecuador has described it as fragmented and segmented, lacking coordination between all human and non-human entities, including public and private health services that can form and sustain the healthcare infrastructure. The weak public health service is marked by inequality as most hospitals are concentrated in urban areas. Ecuador is also vulnerable to natural disasters like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and tsunamis that have also taken a toll on the health infrastructure. But for many Ecuadorians, the coronavirus is yet another disaster that will further expose inequality in their country. But for this resident, who lost 2 people to COVID-19, the government response is to blame for the spread of the coronavirus.
Pero este maldito gobierno es una peste. Todos son una peste. ¿Por qué no hablan, maldito gobierno, que el Ecuador se infectó cuando vino la primera contagiada en ese avión donde venía la familia de los social cristianos de la crema y nata de Guayaquil?